Here we are at Mr. Lobo's apartment. I really wanted to renovate this place because it just doesn't look nice to me. I don't mind the furniture and everything, but the layout, the color scheme, I just think it's really quite dull. Now here, I quite like the dining table where it's, overlooking the windows. I think that's quite nice. And here we have the kitchen. I don't like where it's placed in this apartment, so I really want to move it somewhere else. Hallway here, and then it goes straight into the bedroom, and the bedroom is just so big, unnecessarily big. One bedroom in this huge apartment, it doesn't make sense to me. And then it's got this huge walk-in wardrobe that is like unnecessary, I feel, especially for the gameplay side of things. You can't really use it apart from looking in the mirror. And then you've got this huge bathroom as well, which I think is unnecessarily big. I mean, you've got at least 3 bedrooms just in the current bedroom. So Mr. Lobo, it's your time to vacate the property, please. We've got a lot of work to do, so we shall see you later. Now, as you can see here, he has 4 traits. He's hot-headed, snobby, business savvy, and he's an art lover. So I want to incorporate that into the new style of his apartment. So what I did was I just started by taking out all the furniture and putting it in the inventory, because I don't actually mind the furniture. I think it just needs to change in terms of the color scheme, just be a little bit more quirky, because I feel like he's kind of like a quirky sim. Even just what he's wearing, that flowery suit, and the way he walks, very snobbish and very like he knows it all. I just think this is a fun character to design for. So I really wanted to make the house like quite fancy, quite luxurious, but also quirky, because I feel like he is kind of quirky. He's got very high skill in comedy, so I feel like he's got a sense of humor. As you can see here, first of all, I changed the layout: a bedroom, a guest bedroom, a gym, and then an office space. And in the main bedroom, I put a bathroom, and I also added a wardrobe. And I have to say, I did struggle a bit with this apartment because I was struggling between making it like luxurious and modern and also making it quirky. And I have to say, I found it quite difficult finding that balance. And then also I wanted to keep a similar color scheme to what he had, which was quite dark and kind of masculine. I quite liked that. So there was a lot of blacks, a lot of blues. I wanted to keep that in the property, but then also add some accents of gold and use more of like the expensive pieces that I wouldn't normally use for like starter homes, for example. So this is where I started doing the bedroom, and I have to say the bedroom is my favorite room in the property. I don't feel like it is quirky enough, to be honest, but I do think it is quite modern and luxurious, and so I think it fits that brief. I feel like he is more kind of like snobbish, and he's more about, having the best of the best. Snobbish is part of his personality. What does snobbish even mean? Feel that you're better than other people? I don't know if that's the right definition of snobbish, but that's how I see snobbish. So yeah, I created the bedroom in this style. I tried to add a lot of gold accents to just bring that luxury in. Black, I feel, is quite luxurious. It's quite a modern color as well. And then I added hints of color in like the oranges and the blues to just make it a little bit more fun. And I have to say, I used black wooden floors throughout the property, and I did struggle because I was using a lot of black in the furniture, and then it was clashing a little bit with the floor. So then I changed the floor to grey wood so that I could use more blacks in the furniture and the doors, and then there wouldn't be so much of a clash. So here we are in the main living area. So I made this quite open plan, and I did the kitchen, which you can see as you kind of walk into the property, and then I added the dining area. So I have a feeling he has lots of parties where he schmoozes people. I think his career has something to do with like reviewing places, like reviewing restaurants and fashion. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. Or maybe not actually. Maybe he'd be more well, it's quite strange because that's his job, but then his skills, he's like really high in the comedy, so you'd think that he's like a comedian for a living, but maybe he's just very funny, very quirky character. So I can imagine he's probably got a lot of friends, some of them probably real friends, some of them fake friends who just want him to review their business and give him a good review. I can imagine he gets invited to a lot of parties, and he gets invited to a lot of restaurants and things like that because he does review I could be totally wrong about his job, but I feel like he does some sort of reviewing. But I also made his property to be a place where he could have like dinner parties. He can have his friends come over and they can like play games, and I can imagine he works from home quite a lot as well, so he's got like an office space that overlooks the lounge. Maybe while he's having those parties he could be doing work as well, so he has the office space and his living space kind of intertwined. I liked that he had a big grand piano in his lounge area, so I wanted to keep that. And then this fireplace right here, it actually cannot be moved, and it also has some benefits. I don't know if that's the right word, but it has some good traits that come with the property. So I think when the fireplace is on, it puts people in a romantic mood. Maybe that could also work when he's schmoozing, get people in a flirty mood, and that would get him more job opportunities. I don't know. But I really like the lounge space. I put a little game table there as well, so they can play poker or whatever they play on that game table. I haven't really used it much, so I don't even know what games you can play, but I think you can play like card games and things like that on there. Put a little bar area so he could have, a bartender come when he's having those parties. I can't imagine he would not have one. I feel like he's so fancy, he would hire someone to come and man the bar. And then I kept the toilet where it originally was. I think it was that same size as well, near the front of the door, because I think it made sense. I couldn't see another place where I think it would have worked, and I think that's just a good place. As you come in, you know how it is. It's usually when you're dying to use the toilet is when you've just come home, so it's good to have there. And then also when he's having these parties, when he has guests over, they've got easy access to the toilet. I always like to have showers in all of my toilets in The Sims, because it's just annoying when they have to go upstairs or to another part of the house to use the shower, especially when there's so many people in the property. But even just having one person, I always like to have showers in all the areas, because as you know, The Sims, there's not much time in their days, and you don't want to waste that time going to another end of the house to have a shower, for example. So if we can have it in the same facility, why not? I really like that the dining area just comes off the kitchen. I did struggle a bit with picking a color scheme for this kitchen, because again, I wanted that quirky style to come out, so I wanted to have some color, something fun in the room, but still keep that luxurious look and feel, and also keeping that modern style that I feel he had in the original property. But I just wanted to do it in a much, to me, better layout that flows a lot more. The office here, you can see I did make it a separate room. I also wanted it to be part of the living space, so I added windows all around the office so you can see inside the office, whether you're in the living room, in the kitchen, wherever. There's no practical reason for that. I just thought aesthetically it looked quite nice and different, and I think that adds to the luxuriousness of it, because it's not something you'd see in any property. This is kind of like a bespoke thing. I added a guest room just because I thought he might have friends that want to stay over, especially after these parties. I've probably said parties about 100 times in this video, but I just feel like he'll be having a lot of parties, and if he isn't, I feel like this is a good sim to have parties with. I can just imagine that would be one of the things that I would do playing this character, is just have parties every day and meet lots of people. I mean, I have actually played this sim before, but I didn't have many parties. I think by the time I played him, he was quite late in his life stage, because I play rotationally, and so by the time I had gotten to him, he was kind of like getting to the late adult stage, and so I thought, oh, maybe it's time for him to slow down a little bit and that sort of thing, settle down. Here I did the office. Later on you'll see I actually reduced the size, because the layout to me was just strange with the office this big, going into the lounge area. But yeah, I feel like he would spend a lot of time in his office, even though he doesn't work from home. I don't think he works from home with his career, but I can imagine he needs to do a lot of stuff in his office. He's also an art lover, so I added an easel in there as well, so he can do his paintings and bring out his artistic side. So you'll see with each room I made it a different color, because I felt it just made sense to just bring out that quirky side of him. He doesn't want everything to just be so serious and monotone. So every room is a different color, but in the same sort of style. I added a lot of grays. It's not really my thing to add so many grays, especially on floors, but just do it in a way that I thought looked nicer. In the kitchen, I love this lamp. I just think it just adds more interest to the room. And then I just wanted to add some fun plants here as well. It's a bit annoying with some of the swatches in the game. I just wish that all of the furniture had like the same swatches so that you can match a lot better, especially with things like golds and silvers, so you don't have to mix match too much. I mean, obviously you can mix, you know, silvers and golds if you want to, but with this kind of property I would have loved for all of the metal finishes to be gold, but I couldn't do that with the furniture that we have, so I just mixed but tried to use as much gold as I could in any items that I actually really liked. So here you can see I redid the lounge. I brought the wall back a bit more with the office so that the main living area just flowed a bit better and it's more open, because I felt the lounge was like a little bit tight and it was like it was just a minor room rather than the main room. So now the study is more of the minor room and then we have the lounge as the main room, and I think that makes sense because the study didn't need to be so big. Most of the time it'll only be him in there anyway. I did a double rug in the lounge just to kind of make it more custom looking. I felt it needed a round rug because we already had 2 rectangle rugs in there and I thought it was too many squares going on. It's just looking a little bit strange. And here we are, this is the property. So Mr. Lobo, you can come back in. What do you think, sir? I think he likes it. Yep, there we go. Look at that lovely walk. Yes. I think he likes his new place. I think it fits him. So this is the kitchen. Got the dining area with that huge painting. I really love that painting. Yes, I'm happy with how this apartment turned out. I wish maybe he had a little bit more money so I could have just added a few more items where there's those empty spaces, but for the most part I'm happy with it and I think it's got a nice flow to it and I think it'll be a lot of fun to play with. If you made it to the end of this video, please like it and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.